All right, welcome
Come on,
back.
Tally Man.
No.
Tally me banana.
Tally banana man.
Tally me banana.
This is how we're going to start?
Yep.
This is how we're going to
Tally
start?
me banana.
Banana
Great,
man.
already, right off the gate.
He's
Yeah.
Captain Banana.
All right, folks, welcome back. And let's go ahead and, Paul,
What?
give us an update on what's been going on with your projects.
Whole lot
But
of
yeah,
nothing.
what is going on with your
Nothing,
project?
man. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I bought a camshaft. I did buy that.
He's all about the shafts today.
I love shafts. This one is a light silver shaft. I'm going to take my black shaft out because I have a black magic shaft. I'm going to take that out of the engine. I'm going to put the silver shaft in.
Okay.
It's a little smaller, not so big. The other one was too big,
It's too big.
and I like a smaller shaft
so
than a bigger shaft.
Getting rid of the big and black one.
The big black shaft
putting,
is a little too
average size silver
it's
one
still
in
too
place.
aggressive
It's too aggressive.
for my likings.
First liking.
I like a more mild silver shaft.
Gabby likes it aggressive, right?
I'm actually giving him that big black shaft.
Oh.
So I'm going to bring it to him as soon as possible. But so I'm taking the Lunati Black Magic Stage 3 cam out of the engine that's in there, which is a very aggressive cam. And I'm putting in a Texas Speed 220R, less aggressive cam.
That cam was in the engine originally, or?
Yeah, this engine was built NA. It was built for an NA. And had a very lopey cam, so it sounds like it's almost about to die. I want a more not so aggressive cam. So a better sounding idle, smoother sounding idle, and just a better running engine, lower end torque, that type of thing. So I was talking to an engine builder in Broward County that does a lot of LS builds, and this old man that I ran into, he was going to build me an engine. I ended up finding this other engine for cheaper, so I just bought that. But he was telling me to go with this cam anyways. He thinks this would be the best selection. And I'm like, okay, this guy ports his own heads. He knows about head flow, so let me go with this, and we'll see. But
Maybe you should have him put the motor together for you.
it's already put together. I just got to put the cam in now.
But you take the heads off.
Yeah. But I want to put multi-layered gaskets on. So, and then Rich has helped me along the way, trying to help me select things for the engine as well, and where to go for certain parts. So he's been a help. Actually, he connected me with a guy that's going to clean my injectors because I bought some used fuel injector clinic 850cc injectors.
Yeah, fuel injector clinics.
Yeah, they're actually here local. I don't know if they're in Hope Sound.
Yeah, they're in Hope Sound. I know.
Yeah. So they sent me the original data sheets, which is really cool.
Oh.
So if you want,
Didn't even ask him about that.
so yes, all you gotta do is email.
Well, go ahead, can finish because I did call them and talk to them.
So you can email them, and on your injectors is a little ID, and they'll send you the injector.
And they etched in
the original injector data.
Right, and they also etch.
It's just a 4-digit number.
Right, but they also etch in the CC.
Yes.
Right, so I had it etched in there. I couldn't quite read it, so I wasn't sure what my injectors were.
Oh, okay.
I thought there were 1200s,
yeah.
but they're actually 1650s.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Well,
mine's are
I'm running
850s.
X85, so
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing though. You're way overkill. Anyways, low fuel pressure, 20 psi. You're gonna have to.
Yeesh.
no, I just don't need to pulse them as long.
You're gonna want to lower the fuel pressure. Yeah.
No, I shouldn't have to.
Well, anyways, they have
Remember,
a calculator on the when you get your chart from Fuel Injector Clinic, it actually says what they're rated for mine with 8 injectors, 850s are rated for 600 horsepower. So that's boosted 600 horsepower. So you're
That's on a V8 though. You have
You're
more
missing-
cylinders, so
you're-
it's going to be lower.
you're missing 2 cylinders. So displace that fuel. Fuel is fuel. Is fuel.
Fuel's fuel. I feel you, man.
Feel me?
All right, so you're going to have the
No,
injector
so I'm sending it off to Rich's friend. He does injector cleaning and he does testing. So I'm going to take his test and injector cleaning data and compare it to the original, because I have the original data when these things were sent out, to see how much they diminished, if any, and see if they're still good and worth using. Other than that, I need to I'm debating on whether just going with a full PDM for the car and ripping out the wiring harness already.
Well, you've been debating a lot. You must be a master at it.
I'm master debating. Yeah. I'm master
got masters
debating
in
a lot of
debating.
things.
Oh boy, a lot
With
of
all these
friends.
shafts and everything. You know all about the
well,
shafts.
when I have that, all the the shafts going on, you gotta be a
Whole lot of debating.
You gotta be a master at debating.
yeah.
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 Paul, let me ask you two questions in regards to your build because they kind of tie in with one another. One is, do you have a power goal in mind?
So-
And hang on.
Yeah.
And are you taking into consideration what tracks you want to go to when this is all is done? And if so, are you planning the engine build around the tracks? Pretty
No,
much.
at first I wanted like 400 horsepower when I first started this avenue or going down this path, and then somehow I ended up at 600. So it based on what Chris Jackson has, because he has the same setup. He has an iron block 6.0. I'm an iron block 5.7. Everything is about the same. He's making about 670 to the wheel.
It's a good amount.
So, and I'm looking for something lower than that. So I'm looking for about 600, 550. So I think it should be achievable. He has a much more aggressive cam than I do. So the cam should lower the horsepower and up the torque. It should be a torque monster. It should be like 500 pounds torque right off the bat. So, it's got the pulley. It also, Chris's supercharger is ported. So maybe he could have a little bit more flow. So I'm thinking 550, 500 is going to be one of my area, but that's more horsepower than I would ever need. So this is kind of like I'm going to see if this is too much horsepower, which I'm thinking it's going to be.
Nah.
And we'll see. But I was like, is it really that much? Because I drift maybe 3 times a year.
Right.
I don't care if I blow all my tires off
Right.
because I'm only going to drive 3 times a year.
I like your thinking.
And I'm like, I'm not driving like because Gabriel's like, well, we can need a seat time car.
You're talking about Gabby Garbanzo.
Yeah, Gabby Garbanzo bean. He's like, you need a seat time car. I'm like, no, I don't do seat time. I just want to go blow off some tires maybe twice or 3 times a year. And I want to blow. I never had the chance to actually like, I've always had underpowered cars.
Yep.
So I'm just clutch kick.
Maybe we could do some car shows because we got the liveries finally done.
Yeah, I want to
Oh,
deliver.
yeah.
I want to get the car like nice a little bit. So, do 3 events a year. Do some not really competition. Just do like more show off the car type drift events, and then just drive it around to Cars and Coffee sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
and stuff like that.
Did you guys download because that's only available to like the 22nd? Were you able to download?
Yeah, I downloaded it.
Did you?
I didn't. I couldn't
Do it.
I got it.
Okay. All right. Should we show it tonight?
No.
You don't want to show it?
No, I would like to show it with the
Like a
car.
reveal.
I would like to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But no, but you can.
Well, because I was
I mean,
thinking
you can
about
put
you can
you
use
can put
it-
it on a Seto. I don't
you
care
can put
about
it on
that.
a
But
Seto.
I just don't
Yeah.
want to. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I really want to show it off on the car actually being.
I agree.
done.
I agree.
So
Anyhow, so go ahead.
that's an update with my car. Really not much going on because I really need right now. It's my busiest time of year for my business, and also my daughter is out of school, so she's got nothing to do. So every time I come home, she's always like,
Daddy, daddy.
Every weekend, it's like she needs something to do. So we're gonna be going on vacation a couple weeks from now. So after that, I think she'll be back in school. I'll start getting more time to work on the car and hopefully finish the car before the end of the year. So that's what my goal is, trying to get it done before next year. So that way I can hit up most of the events next year.
Yeah.
That's good.
I want to get it up to spec tune to have him tune it because it's going to have the Link ECU. So he does a lot of the Link stuff. So I want to take it to him. So we'll see.
Sounds good. Tim, what you been up to?
I got the car started.
Hey.
So that's a big step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think last time we talked about, I had Brandon Pico de Gallo racing. He did my harness. Did an excellent job on the harness. Really
Yeah,
good
looks
job.
beautiful.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's really, really top notch. So couldn't get it started and wasn't really sure what was going on. I was messing with all different settings, and here I am with the computer, right? Me on the computer trying to figure things out, just reading a lot of forums, a lot of research on the Mega Squirt. And one day, Brandon was like, "Hey, listen, if you want to come over, we'll figure it out. We'll get it started." So we came over and we tested a bunch of things, and I just kind of re-verified that a lot of things were wired correctly, and they were. And the settings seem like, for the most part, it should start. So we ended up taking the Mega Squirt apart because on the Mega Squirt, it's one of those DIY build kind of thing. Do-it-yourself auto-tune sells these, and people can actually buy the Mega Squirt with everything totally apart with just the circuit boards, and you can just solder it all together yourself.
Oh, cool.
That being said, there's some setup internally that has to be done. Now, I thought I gave it, well, I did give it to a friend of mine that did the tune, but maybe he assumed I already did some of the setup in it. Anyhow, we opened it up. We verified all the jumpers were there's all these different jumpers that you set up inside on the board. So we verified the jumpers, but then there was these two like potentiometers, and they had like an adjustment screw on it. And Brandon, he did his research when he was doing my harness. He read through all the manuals and everything. So he's like, I remember seeing that you have to turn something somewhere or whatever. So we went there, and we looked at the directions, and it was like turn these like 7 times anti-clockwise. And I thought it was kind of odd term, right? They said counterclockwise. It was anti-clockwise. So I was like, okay,
is that counter the counterclockwise?
Yeah,
is that counter the which way am I going?
I don't know. So, anyways, we turned it. Brandon, because it said that you may hear a click, so Brandon kept turning him. He's like, oh, it's like infinite turns.
Oh, great!
So we turned them, and then we're like, well, let's see what happens. Put it back together, fire it right up. Well, didn't fire right up. So the first couple times it was like pow, bang, boom, all kinds of loud pops and bangs coming out of the back. And then there was something that I think I had the sequence to batch fire instead of sequential. So that's why I think the problem. Plus I had the timing. I don't think I had the timing right. There was 2 different places we could set the timing. So we went to revert to the first one that I had originally had, and then it fired up. Now, I sent you a video. Do you have the videos?
Yeah, I do.
Actually, if you could play the video, play the audio too, so that way we can hear it. It kind of sounds like a cammed V8. So obviously, not quite where it needs to be. Though I've been able to do some research, and I'm pretty sure I had some other settings wrong, like with E85 or I'm on X85. You have to change. You don't run the Stoich of 14.7. Oh. You run it at 9.8. Anyways.
Hang on, let me just
there's
set
a couple
this up
videos
so people can see it. Hold on here. All right.
So I made some setting changes, and I'm doing some rewiring.
All right, yeah.
And I'll try again.
I'm leaking some coolant stuff here, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm more concerned that I have to totally pull the engine out, have it re-ringed, but we got it to fire. Woo! Yep. Me and Brandon, we did something. I'm not really sure. We turned some knobs and push some buttons, and we got the fire. Now we're just trying, it's running really rich at idle, so we're just trying to figure out why. A couple pops and bangs came out the back down here, poppity pip pip pippity pop 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 bang, and then we got it to finally start. I don't know. Now Brandon's trying to do something.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, me neither. But you look like it.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, that's
Fake it till you make
that's
it.
right. That's right.
I do know what I'm doing.
Oh, you do know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know how to fake it.
I know how to fake it.
So you want to try it again?
Yeah, start it up.
Okay. All right. El Fuel, El Starto. So smooth. First like a kitten on crack. Yeah, who knows?
Not as much smoke
This
as I was
is a
expecting, though.
2-cylinder.
We're definitely
Yeah, it's
doing
only-
something wrong, but we got the start, and you're still at like 11 finish.
Yeah, you probably only were firing on a couple cylinders.
Probably. And I was supposed to have it on 2 squirts per cycle, and I had it on 1 squirt. Now you hear that ticking. I think I talk about where it's coming from.
I think it's your bolt.
Yeah, there's a
Oh, yeah.
bolt that I got the oversized power steering pulley, and that bolt right there. Look how close it is.
It'll wear itself out.
It's so close. Why would they make it
Yeah.
like that?
Maybe it's not supposed to go with that.
Maybe turn the fuel
Bolt?
pump off.
There's only one. I mean, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Turn the fuel pump off, it gets better.
Well, it starts to kind of smooth out. But anyhow, got it started. Hey, and remember how I was getting stuck before? Right?
What? Oh yeah.
How the engine was getting kind of locked up and it was
Yeah.
kind of sounding like it was thumping all the time.
Yeah.
Well, after it ran and the fuel pressure and everything, now it spins freely.
Okay, you just push that lizard out of the way.
I pushed that lizard, and no more lizard. But there wasn't as much smoke as I thought. I was expecting to see clouds of smoke
Yeah.
out the back.
Yeah, nothing.
And it wasn't.
Interesting.
So anyhow, there are some settings I know I definitely had wrong. So this weekend, probably not this weekend because I got family coming in from Puerto Rico, and then I'm going to Puerto Rico.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. So probably when I get back, I'll try the new tune because I pulled everything apart to clean up the wiring and move the Mega Squirt in a different position and just run the wire so it looks a little more cleaner and tidy up everything. And I'll put the dash. Plus, I'm getting rid of the kill switch that
Yeah.
was on the top there, and I'm getting a remote. Stinger makes a remote battery
switch.
kill switch relay. So I'm gonna do that, and but once I get that all done, hopefully before I leave, when I come back, I'll try to fire it up again, and hopefully it'll run a little smooth. I changed the spark plugs because I figure I probably fouled the spark plugs
Yeah.
on the last run, and run it a little longer, fix the water leak, and my goal is to, since the engine's running, it's not blowing a ton of smoke. I don't want to put it on the dyno with the way the pistons look like that. So Jackson does have other 1J pistons. So I'm going to get the car on the ground, maybe drive around the neighborhood, make sure that the car runs and is ready for the dyno, and then pull the engine, take it to Chris, have him re-ring it. We'll put ARP studs in probably in the block and on the heads, and re-ring it, new pistons, put it back together, take it to the dyno, and all bets are off. I also talked to Bryce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bryce, he's going to do my my firewalls. So
okay.
so once I get the car, so it really depends on how I want to do this. I may wait on the engine to take a dyno and may take the car to Bryce and have all that done. So when I pull that engine, have it rebuilt, I take it to the dyno,
It'll last
I'm
then.
going to want to go right to an event after the dyno.
Yeah.
So my idea is to get the car running, let it idle, come up to temperature, drive it around, make sure the wheels don't fall off, maybe get it aligned or whatever. I'll be able to move it around and just, get everything dialed in where I feel it's functional. And then the last thing I do, pull the engine out. Because having it re-ringed and the pistons changed, that shouldn't take too long. Well, then again, it's Jackson. But it shouldn't take too long. And get the car on the dyno and then head right to the next event after that. So that's my goal. I'm just glad it started. Really like 5 years in the making, or 6 years in the making.
Did it take off some of the concerns you had with the engine?
Yeah, it did actually. Like part of me now is like, well, it kind of cranks, it doesn't thump anymore, just send it, right? But the price of 1Js right now are like through the roof. So if I really destroy that motor, I'm going to set myself back a good $5,000 just to get another one.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
they're insane.
Wow.
Yeah. So the idea is to, like I said, get it running, dial it in, idle it, make sure the cooling system keeps it cool, and do a lot of the other stuff, get it aligned, maybe get the firewall stuff done, so that way when I do pull the engine and take it to the dyno, I'll be ready for an event right after that. So I think that's what my goal is right now. So I think me and Paul will probably be done around the same time.
Could be.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. Should be.
I won't have a cage though.
It's fine. We'll go to
We'll see.
OSW. It's fine.
Are you guys expecting a tandem with one another?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
We got to get the cars wrapped together and everything. So
Paul, are you going to tandem with him after you tandem with Gabriel? Because I know that was one of your goals.
I want to crash into Gabriel.
Yes, exactly.
that's different.
Yeah. I also wanted to crash into Noel, but I don't think I'll ever see him on track. So, but
How? Well,
But
no, it's because is he working on his car? Could you talk to him? Does he work on
I
his car?
heard he's getting Gabriel says he's upgrading his car. He's getting like the max jacks of cars. He's getting signed up with RTR and stuff like that. That's what I'm
What?
hearing. Yeah.
Is he getting rid of the? He's getting a different car.
He's replacing James Dean.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so he's getting an RTR Mustang.
no, but is he working on his car at all?
I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't know. I'm gonna assume yes, but to what extent and to what speed, have no idea. But
Anyhow,
I could only wish him
The holiest of noliest.
yes, indeed.
yeah. Well, anyways, as far as we've slid together before, so I don't see why it wouldn't be anything out of the norm. And if we have the cars wrapped together, it's going to be like one of those things that we're going to be sliding together most of the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I would hate for you guys to start damaging
We
your
don't hit each other.
vehicles.
We don't hit each other.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm not.
No, we don't really like to destroy our cars.
I'm not going to destroy my car.
We're just out to have some fun and
You don't want to destroy your car, Paul?
So, but I never destroyed any cars. What cars did I destroy?
blow motors.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that I did.
that's where I was getting at.
Well, I don't think I'll blow this one. We'll find out.
I mean, most people that get it go LS, they go through 2 or 3 before they get it right. So we'll see. Just saying. Just saying. Everybody says LS, they're so reliable, and then it's like everybody if they go over 350 horsepower,
Hey,
it's like they blow it.
We've only seen one fail at LS Fest.
We did only see one fail.
So far.
but if you ask any of those guys how many LSs they've gone before they got to that point,
Well, that's a different story.
but
We don't wanna- we don't go-
it's the context. Okay, it's the context of the story.
I don't
Yes,
see.
these guys, LS Motors they're so great. They don't blow, except for the 5 that each guy's one of these blew before they got it right. And now once they got it right, they don't blow.
Well, owner neglect. Think about it. This is an individual that perhaps has never owned a LS powered vehicle before, so they don't know the intricacies about it.
I thought it was
It's oil. So the LS engine is not a priority mains oiling system. The
doesn't have any main priorities.
It has no main priorities. No, basically, a lot of the engines they send the oil straight to the main bearings first. The LS sends it to the main bearings last. The rod bearings last, and the mains.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, those are the last parts that get the oil.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's usually a lot of engines are priority mains. So all the main bearing surfaces get oil right away, but that's not the way the LS works. So that's why if you dip in pressure in the oil on LSs, it's a really big issue. That's why everybody ends up with rod knock and all these and crank issues and that. Yeah,
So it looks like Paul's doing enough research to where he may not go through what everybody else is going through.
Well, I don't know. I'm not doing dry sump. That's too crazy. I mean, that's not too crazy. That would be the next logical step. I'm going to start with what seems to work is a AccuSump. So I'm doing AccuSump. I'm doing a rear sump, which keeps the oil in the back of the pan, which is supposed to help. So rear sump, AccuSump, and I'm doing a high pressure oil pump. So all those 3 things, I'm hoping negate any oiling issues.
It just reminds me of the RBs
Run
and
bearings.
their oiling issues.
Yep. That's why they call them RBs.
Ah,
Run bearings.
So I mean, it could, right? It could definitely blow. I don't think I'm going to blow a rod. The rods are forged rods. I don't think I'm going to break the block because the block's an iron block. So it's not.
As long as it's tuned, you're going.
I'm going E85 or X85.
X85.
So the boost is not very high. It's going to be 12 pounds of boost, so it's not like anything crazy.
Yeah, and we should be about the same horsepower because I'm playing around 500 as well.
So
it'll be fun to watch.
that would be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Interesting, just to see the contrast between how both of you guys.
mine's only going to rev to $6,000.
Yeah, I'm shooting for 8.
8's pretty high though.
Huh.
Well, I mean, stock red is 7.5.
But you're going to be in a lighter chassis, though, right?
Yeah, way lighter.
Yeah.
Way lighter, by 1,000 pounds lighter.
Is it really?
I'm sure after this thing.
Well, I'm saying no, but I'm saying
thing's
chassis
gutted.
versus chassis.
I'm not talking about chassis versus chassis. I'm talking about mine versus yours.
Well, yeah, mine's a much lighter. Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's pretty beefy.
So
Plus, plus my engine is going to be like 800 pounds.
well,
a lot of pounds.
JZs are pretty heavy too, though.
No, not as heavy because I got a supercharger, a big freaking gigantic
okay,
supercharger sitting on top. I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting. I know the block and everything together is about 500 pounds. So I'm putting another. I think that we weighed it right. We put it on the scale for it's 80 pounds supercharger.
Yeah.
So
Supercharger alone is
That's
80
true,
pounds.
yeah.
the supercharger's 80 pounds on top of 500 pounds, plus adding water into the engine, everything else that needs to go on top of the engine. I need to have oil coolers. I need to have a heat exchanger. I need to have, and I'm trying to run AC in the car as well.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I got to figure that out because I want AC in there too.
Yeah, you could probably just do what what's his name has, where he has the refrigerated cool suit.
No, I want cold air blowing on me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to kind of do. I was going to have Bryce separate my cabin completely, like how you're doing, so I only have to cool the front end.
That's why I want to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm like they sell those classic car
AC system.
AC systems, and I have plenty of room underneath the passenger side of the
just put it
dash. So I
right
was going to
there.
mount it underneath there, and then run vents, and then plus I have a vented helmet, so I'd run a vent all the way around, so I'd blow cool air into my helmet. And you just need to break the heat. You don't need to keep the car at 65 degrees inside, but
Yeah.
you need to try to get that heat out.
Well, plus, you guys are known as the AC guys, so
Yeah,
I
we got-
figured
It only makes
I mean,
sense.
Yeah.
A car should have AC.
Yeah.
Well, a real race car should have AC. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was another thing. Is I'm going to have advanced air systems. People are going to go for a ride along and
Yes.
cool. Yeah. No, it's going to have advanced
Yes.
air systems.
Actually, I
plus-
found a guy over by Chris that does custom AC lines. So
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay. Yeah, because that's
and he
what I
does them
need.
really good. I think my friend Jose,
Yeah.
he had them done because he LS swapped his Colorado,
Oh, really?
and he had the guy done. It was like he said he paid like $350. The guy did the lines.
It's flexible lines.
Yeah, like they look like OEM flexible
Oh, wow.
lines,
Oh,
all
awesome.
all bent, pre-bent, and
Oh, okay,
everything.
cool.
It looks like stock. He did the lines and vacuumed the system and charged the system for him for like $350.
Oh, wow.
Hey, that's
So
good.
he
That's
said
the guy.
right by Jackson.
Oh, that's the guy. Yeah, no, because
So-
that's definitely the guy. Because I was gonna, because for some reason the AC lines on the G35 start on the passenger side, work its way all the way over to the driver's side, and then come back over. And so I'm gonna cut them right where they come out of the passenger side, and put
Just leave enough.
enough there.
or
so
leave
that
the should be a union there.
there's a quick connect. There's one of those. I don't know. Have you ever seen those AC line connections and fuel line connections?
Yeah.
Where you need the little clip to push
Right,
out
to push the spring
So
in.
there's those
So
connections.
leave
right
that
there.
connection there and just cut on the other side.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So going to if that guy's the guy, then I'm gonna get a universal condenser, mount that in the front,
Yeah.
mount my heat exchanger, mount my oil cooler,
Get some serious fans up
yeah,
there.
and then get some fans on that, and then put the radiator in the back. So
I just picture both of you guys doing product demos with your cars.
this product demos.
Yeah. I mean, you could show off how excellent the products that you have to offer in your line of work not only work on commercial sites, but also on mobile sites.
Yeah, I
Like
just
your
gotta
vehicle. It's
I just got to
mobile.
get my solar division to give me some kind of solar panel for the battery and for my sunroof.
Right, exactly. And then you could show off how certain products, though, even though they could be applied in different instances, can still work.
I'll put a mini split on my
Yes.
on my car. I'll have the mini
Absolutely.
split like across the back.
Yeah.
I'll have put it right there across the back, and then I'll just mount the condenser on a trailer.
It's genius.
It is actually in those mini splits. They don't pull much electricity.
You can
No.
put just, you know what you can do? You just put a cassette.
Oh, cassette! Yeah, they
Right in
make,
this-
it's right there.
right
They
there.
have ceiling mounts ones. They have one-way cassettes
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
It'd be a little bulky on top, but that's fine.
I mean, it makes sense because you already have the cutout for the sunroof,
Yeah.
and it could just go right on top.
I think you're totally onto something.
I mean, you just got to get it either custom fit or maybe just, I don't know, kind of like a plexiglass a certain amount or something. So that way it gets a nice tight fit. And you got to also make sure that the rest of the windows, so you don't want the air to escape, right? You want to
Oh
be.
no, I'll have windows. Yeah, definitely gonna
Okay.
have windows. I plan on that. But like I said, I'm gonna have Bryce section off the
back.
section off the back. Put
Okay.
a firewall there, and I only have to cool the front area. I'll make sure I seal the firewall up pretty well, and then I really just need to cool that area. And if I have vents blowing at me, and then have one blowing into my helmet, I have to keep my windows up, and I'm not, like I said, they have those classic car and air conditionings that you don't have to run a compressor in the engine, so it's not going to affect my power at all. And I have a good enough alternator that I can handle it too. So
Have you considered like some sort of like heat extractor on top? So that way, like as the air goes in, it shoots out from
like
the top?
Venturi style.
Yeah.
I thought about that, but no.
No, you know what Ben Hobson has is that little thing that like it's basically like a little flap.
Like a NASCAR flap.
It's just like it goes like it's like
You
a
ever seen
straight up.
NASCARs when they go sideways, they have these flaps that pop up on the roof?
I don't know. It's like this little flap that faces forward that just shoots air right in.
Yeah, but if you shooting Florida air in your face, it's like it's not comfortable.
I mean, it's great when you're in the lead. I can't imagine it'd be great when you're
Yeah.
chasing somebody.
Well, that's another reason I like to ride with my windows up. So it's because of the smoke. That sucks.
Funny
I
how
don't like how
priorities
everybody-
change the older you get. AC is a priority.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse if you think about it. With
Global warming.
no, it's only. I'm just saying it's only going to get worse when you have like all these tracks to go to.
Yeah.
And you're having to. I mean, more often than not, it's not like you have a team
No.
to help you out.
Yeah, to be exhausted after driving. Yeah. You need AC, and especially if I'm going to be, representing my company.
That's right.
Exactly.
I gotta have cool. It's gotta be cool
You could
inside.
even put it in commercials
It's gotta be frigid in there.
for your
I
company.
could come out like in a burqa.
You could be like advanced AC.
cold in here.
We can cool anything. This race car was 140 degrees. There we got down to 65.
I mean, if you actually even play even smarter, you could have it so that the doors on your property, on your branch, they open wide enough so that way you just drive right in and you never have to deal
With
with
the
any
outside.
heat whatsoever. You go
yeah.
from code to code. So
Yeah.
you don't have to take out your burqa at
No,
all.
I just need a bubble. Like I need a bubble boy,
No, we need to have.
like an air conditioned bubble. A floating a drone
we
AC, an AC drone that drops cold air on you wherever you go.
No, but if we got a generator and we got a tent that's big enough to fit both cars with the walls like he has, and we run a generator and we literally cool the tent when we get off the track, we just pull the cars in and
In a
drop.
cool insulated tent.
It doesn't
but
need to be
we-
insulated. You just get like a 20-ton unit.
But you get one of those like bubble, like inflatable, like enclosures. No, the ones that are made for painting, so it's like all clear.
Oh, yeah.
So because you can pull a whole car. We should get that.
We should. And
we
air condition it.
and air condition it, and make it freaking freezing inside.
Gentlemen, I got an idea.
What? We could actually sell like time in the AC environment.
Yes.
Be like, oh, you want a ticket in? Do you want to sit in here?
Well, not only
Want a
that,
nice cold brew.
but
Want a long drink that tastes like
What?
transmission fluid?
But we could potentially pivot away from not only necessarily talking about or focusing on the drift events, but coming up with AC solutions for the average driver at the track. Think about it. Because all of these guys, you see them out there busting their butts, sweating, drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure to some extent you guys are like, oh, I could, come up with a solution for them. But obviously,
It's hard, man. It just requires so much energy to create cool air. So it's just like
It's got to be a
you
way.
need a compressor. So you need to drive.
Yeah, so the thing about air conditioning, you need to remove the heat, not just blowing cold air.
oh, of course.
That's not enough. You need to remove the heat or convert
put
the
it
heat
somewhere.
into air conditioning. Just drawing air in and blowing cold air in there, it's not going to work.
You need a compressor, and the only way you can drive a compressor is with a big alternator or putting the compressor on the engine. So it's the only way to do it. The only way. So I don't know. I don't know of any other way other than a gigantic vat of liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen.
Yeah, but how expensive is that usually?
Well, liquid nitrogen?
Yeah.
Well, it's expensive.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and very hard to keep because it only goes bad if you're transporting it. It starts to boil.
But what's wrong with a set of fans?
Set of fans. You can't do fan. So so like in
Convection
Arizona, you could do a swamp cooler, right?
What's that?
Swamp cooler means something that sprays water and blows water in a fan because the evaporation is pulling heat away. So you could do that. Swamp coolers work in a very dry environment, but in humid Florida, it doesn't work that way because we're too humid. It won't evaporate as fast, so you won't get
You just get thunderstorms
You just-
inside
you
your
just-
car.
you just-
You just clouds and lightning and everything inside the vehicle.
Oh,
But I think the bubble cooled AC little hangout area, I think that's a cool idea for the track. I think we're going to do that. I think I'm going to get like a 20-ton unit and bring it out and run it on a generator. Yeah.
like what's the smallest kind of like? I guess a mini split, right?
No,
For what?
No, they have car ACs. I mean, think about it. RVs have AC.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the classic cars, the cars that weren't made with air conditioning, they have classic cars. So that's another thing I could even do. If I didn't want to have a compressor and a refrigerant, I could always just get dry ice and water and circulate water through the coil and do a chilled water
Well, do
system.
what that system it used to have. I don't know where it is.
But no, I could do a chilled water system because I get the fan coil, and then instead of running a refrigerant,
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah,
I could do a
but
chilled water
It
system.
just wouldn't last very long.
Well, no, but if you get dry ice in there and you're not opening up, it's only cooling the water. It's not mixing. Do you know what I'm saying?
You would eat through the wall. You would eat through it too fast.
You think so?
Yeah. You know, it's,
I just think it's an
Oh.
important topic to
man,
bring up
I have
and talk
an
about.
I have an NDA, but if,
But
if
then
I could-
don't.
I could really there's this one technology I'm working with right now that I can't. Oh man, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's it. Just leave it like that.
It could
it
could be a coating for cars that would cool them down.
So I have heard of a new paint that's been released. My wife shared it with me, and it's supposed to reflect, I think, 80 or 90% of the heat. And they're talking about using this on roofs and houses because it's going to drop the heat load on the home. So but then again, I don't want to paint my car that color. I want to wrap it.
Is it that bad?
Well, it's a paint, so you couldn't put a wrap on the vehicle. The whole idea is that the paint reflects heat. It reflects heat.
Yeah.
So you'd have to paint the whole vehicle in order.
There's paints that absorb.
It's so white.
There's paints, but no, this is really crazy. There's paints that absorb the night sky and actually cool.
What?
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind right now.
I know. There's paints nowadays that can absorb the night sky, not the day sky, but the night sky, and cool, get colder.
Look, I just think that this is a very important topic. I understand that we've kind of like delved into it a little bit longer than expected, but I can't help but just kind of focus on it because we always, one of the things Tim and I usually highlight and go over on several occasions is to stay hydrated because of the temperatures on the
We've
track.
seen people, right? Like Josh Love had that, who was it? Magic Mike had the problem.
Mike Pollard.
Mike Pollard, yeah. He had the heat exhaustion. Josh Love had the heat exhaustion, right? Or was it Joseph Love?
Joseph Love, yeah.
One of them had the heat exhaustion at Clutch Kickers. So, I mean, the heat is real. It's Florida. And, those cars are insane. I don't know how those guys do it, man.
I don't know. I think the chill water system might be the best way for me to go at first. Only reason why I'm saying is because I don't have to power a compressor as far as energy, and I don't have to have a condenser coil. I can run. So basically, I have to run a test. I have a cooler. I already have a cool suit cooler that I've got a long time ago. So I basically need to see what kind of formula between salt, ice, and dry ice that I can come up with, where I can
ice
use.
would melt too fast.
Yeah, but the ice, if you salt it, it lasts longer. It gets colder.
Yeah, but it's still not gonna. The heat load in that car is way too high.
Right, no, but the heat load, as long as the cooler is well insulated, it should keep that heat load out.
You're absorbing it with the evaporator, so you're pushing all the heat into the.
Okay, but if it's going in, if I can have it at 32-degree water, and I mean, I'm just saying, it only needs to last. Because it's a closed loop system. The water is a closed loop system. The water basically goes through a condenser that's in the cooler.
It's not gonna work.
It's so negative. So negative.
Well, okay, think about it like this.
It will work, but will it last a full day? That's
No.
the question.
No. Yes, it will work. It just won't last more than an hour.
But okay, but here's to Tim's benefit though. It doesn't necessarily need to last an hour. Just for as long as your session
Dry
goes.
ice is expensive. Have you purchased dry ice?
It needs to last. It needs to last 24 hours.
Yeah, there's no
Because
way.
I need to be able to purchase it in the morning or the day before,
Okay.
and then
no way.
and then put it in the cooler, and it has to last a full event. So it would have to last 24 hours to
Well,
make it like not a pain in the butt.
Okay.
Where I'm running out, I'm already loading up tires and loading up everything and getting to the track and loading the car. That cooler, it's modular, so I don't have to keep the cooler in the car all the time. So as long as the cooler, I can take it in and out quickly. I take the cooler out. I get the night before, get some dry ice or whatever it is, load it up, and I'd have to do a test.
Yeah, dry ice can only absorb 246 BTUs per pound.
Okay.
So that's 246 BTUs an hour.
Okay, well, how much?
It's how many you would need. Like your car probably is.
Yeah, but dry ice. But I don't think you understand what I'm talking about.
Well, I know what you're talking about.
That's what I'm saying. The
Dry ice
combination-
only has a certain amount of BTUs.
I know, but you're not blowing the fan across the dry ice.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I
The
know, I
water's not
get you.
mixing with the dry ice. It just
Trust me, I've
can't-
already thought about this.
What I'm saying is, if dry ice can last in a container for 24 hours,
Look, you want to cool the space, right? You need to be able to cool it. It can only produce 246 BTUs. If you're trying to cool it, you need to overcome the heat load. If the heat load is 12,000 BTUs, right? Typical car ACs are around 6,000 BTUs. Okay, so if it's 6,000 BTUs, you're going to need.
A lot more
I
dry
have
ice.
I'd have to run tests because I think. I'm not saying what he's saying is
You're
wrong.
going to need 23 pounds of dry ice for an hour.
I can't. No, an hour.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm
to
not.
cool it. To handle the heat
No
load.
way. There's no way. For 1 hour.
I'm telling you. This is going off on a tangent, though.
No, but listen.
No,
what
no,
I'm
but
gonna do,
this is
but
fine.
what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a test. I'm gonna get just one block of dry ice, and I'll research some.
Well, I know where to get cheap dry ice. So if you really want to do it, I know where to get cheap dry ice.
No, it has to be. It has to be a real world scenario. I got to go to Publix and get it because that's what I'm gonna be doing. I got to be able to go to the grocery store and get it because if I drive to Georgia, I'm not buying dry ice from this guy around here.
Okay, but
and then
look,
drive it
at
all the way
least
up there.
buy it cheap. And
How much is? I'm not talking about.
I can get it for $5 a pound. You're gonna buy it for $20 a pound.
All right, whatever.
Wait, okay, I'm changing my mind now. Yeah,
Whatever. Anyways, so I get a pound of dry ice, and I'll look up some concoctions or whatever, and I'll run it out. I'll just put it outside once, but I got to get the because the evaporator the chill water evaporator I can use it for
Just use
refrigerant
a
or
mini split. Just use that.
why would I use that? That's not what I'm gonna be using. I would.
This
it's-
for a vehicle application, sir.
I want it to
Yeah,
be.
I
I want it to be
get that.
accurate. I want it to be accurate. to
Okay,
what I'm
well then
using.
all you need is a water pump, right?
Yep. Coil of copper.
A coil of copper, a styrofoam container. Really is what you could
Well,
use.
no, I would use my cool suit cooler that I have already, because that's what I'm gonna be using, and I'll just set the sucker outside and see how long the dry ice lasts running it.
No, it's not because outside it's not cooling anything.
Yeah, it doesn't have to cool it. We're not talking about reaching set point. We're just talking about breaking the heat load inside of the cabin.
telling you,
I'm not talking about bringing it down to 60 degrees inside the cabin. I'm talking about
it's not going to
comfortable.
work. It's not going to work. You're better off with the compressor and doing a phase change. That would be better. That's the reason phase change exists. So don't reinvent the wheel. There's a reason that we don't have a bunch of dry ice.
Well, there's
Trucks
chill
running
water
around.
systems.
Yeah, they use compressors. They don't use dry ice.
Well, but the idea is
Use
you're using chill
compressors.
water. Anyways,
We
whatever.
can do chilled water in your car. We can still do chilled water. We can put a cooling tower in your freaking truck.
Oh my god, my truck.
Yeah.
my truck.
Your truck.
I got
Your
a truck
truck.
now. All of a sudden.
No, focus. The race car. The race car.
Anyway, so we'll see. I'll see what I'll see what I got to do.
See, what
It
I'm
won't
thinking
work.
is, look, this is why this is a good. Another reason why it's a good topic. I feel like some of these drivers, some of these competitors, the cooling is an afterthought. They spend so much time and money on building the car for competition that maybe they didn't think or consider.
How much a cool?
Yeah, how hot is it gonna get? And or maybe they feel like, oh, I'll just deal with it, and then they put themselves in a situation where it's like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it in those cars in a race suit. Like, how do you? I don't know how this guy's.
Well,
doing.
Nick Ward said he took temperature 120 degrees inside his car.
Yeah, and then it's
I'm
inside
not
the
about that life.
No,
No.
I agree. So I think with your expertise, you could be doing a great service to all the drivers out
Mine
there.
will be compressor driven by the engine. And
I don't want to see. I want to remove any type of power drain or anything on the engine. I don't want it to be powered off the engine. So he's going to go his route. I'm going to go my route, and we'll see what happens.
I'll be cold and you'll be hot. Spending
Well, yeah,
$20
but
in a-
isolated chassis on the inside. You're just a little different.
But I get what he's trying to get at, is that it doesn't necessarily need to be 60 degrees. At least if he could get it down to like 80.
I will be in
instead
my
of
burqa.
Yeah. But think about it.
but
If
licking
he could
a
get it down to
lollipop.
like 80 instead of 120.
Yeah, if I can have it 80 degrees inside here with air blowing on me, I'm good. If it's 98 degrees outside, or normally 120 and something in everybody else's car, I'm good with that. I'll survive.
You will survive. Why don't you
Anyhow.
just shove dry ice in your underwear? That don't work too.
Whatever.
Let's make a dry ice suit. Where you
yeah.
just put cubes of dry
My
ice.
flesh, it's burning.
That may work too. No,
We were talking about other stuff, but then we kind of went off on a how to cool our race car tangent.
yeah.
Like I said, it's important.
It's very
I don't know if
important.
it's
thing.
important, but
The older you get, your priorities change.
yeah, even I think Taylor Ray said it. It's like the older you get, the less you want loud exhaust, the less you want to ride around in a janky car. It's just
Yeah, like I
want
pipe my wastegate. I'm not open dump. I put that wastegate right back into the exhaust because I don't like the way it sounds. I want all the sound out the back.
yeah. So
So what else has changed in your priorities compared to what you've put together in a car before? Like obviously you mentioned just another one where maybe before on your car build you wanted it to be the loudest, the gnarliest, and now you're like, oh, it's too loud. I need to like silence this. A bit.
I'm not going to silence it. I just want the sound to come out the back. Like before,
I don't want to like Gabriel. That thing is insane.
Let's not go there.
That's
even
no.
with the supercharger. I should
Oh
quite.
my god,
It's worse.
it's insane. You haven't heard that thing.
No, I haven't.
It's like when he brought it to work one time, and the guys were like, "Oh, it's not that loud," and he was just like, it was just idling and just cruising around. I'm like, watch, let Gabriel go down the road and then hit it like down the road. He's like, whoa, it's making some noise, but it's not like anything. When he guns it, it's like,
It's enough to make Helen Keller cringe.
it's like, oh my god. Do you remember Alex's Corolla?
Alex, you mean?
With
With
the
the
VQ?
VQ.
Yes.
Remember how
I
ear
remember
piercing that thing was?
I don't remember.
It's louder than that. It's worse than that. It is way worse than
There was an S13 hatch, a black one that would often go to the skip pad. It was a long time ago, and we just hated this car because of how annoyingly, disgustingly loud it was, and it was nowhere near positive, nowhere near tolerable. It was just absolutely just
blow your eardrums out.
ridiculous. Like you almost wanted to just kick them out of the track.
It wasn't even like a lovely sound, right? Like if it was a
No.
loud rotary, well, we like how rotaries sound, right? They're loud, and you're like, it's loud. My ears are bleeding, but
You
I kind
kinda
of
like-
like it.
you
I kinda
come to
enjoy
expect it.
So but it's almost like I can take that pain because I like the way it sounds, but not these.
But not this. No, it was just bad.
Something about the rasp of that VQ that makes it just it actually hurts the ear. It actually it stabs your eardrums.
But you
like
know what the
little
thing
daggers.
is when it's mufflered and they actually sound pretty good. I think a VQ with a muffler, I think they sound pretty good. It has
bad.
aggressive. They don't sound bad. It's once you take those cats out and then muffler out, it's like all bets are off.
Yeah,
It's
like
like-
mine didn't sound bad.
You let the
done.
elephants out.
Yeah, elephants. You let the demons out. I mean, that thing is just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, his car's crazy, but no, you just when you get older, you want something a little more civilized. I think.
What about ride height?
I think ride height is definitely not as low as I used to be. The E30 was definitely lower.
Tim?
I'm probably planning on being low. I like the way it looks. So now daily driving, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Never again. Never
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, no.
You know, never again. Like I got my truck and it's comfortable.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about
You
it.
just run over stuff and who cares? A cat, it was a dog, was it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's done. You ran it over, you barely felt it.
Yeah. No.
You hit a pothole, you're like, ooh, that kind of sucked. But you know, you keep going. You know, pulling into a parking lot and like, oh, can I make it? Do I have to go over an angle? No, those days are done.
Okay, how about this? Are the days of, and this back in the day, this would happen often, and I'm sure it still happens to a lot of people out there, where your race car is your daily driver and vice
No,
versa.
that's never going to happen again.
Yeah,
I will
never.
say some of my fondest memories were these road trips that we used to take and stuff. Those were some of my fondest memories. And I still love the way the cars look. I prefer a slam car over I think one of the things I like least about is a lot of the drift cars when they're drifting around a track, it's one thing, but when I see them, like, I'm like, oh, God, they're so jacked up and they're like this high off the ground. There's like this much. There's more wheel gap than there was from factory. I'm just like, no, I can't do it. I won't do that. But daily driving is a different story. So I guess it depends.
You know which car looks deceivingly low? Is Andy Haley's car.
Andy Haley's car looks like it's dragging ass.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's
It's the side skirts.
the kid.
body
The
kit.
kid does
Yeah.
it,
But
but
his wheel gap he's got pretty decent wheel gap. But I like his way his car look. Like I was actually watching his car. Like part of me wants to go with the E46 style, that body kit on the E46 style front end. But I think I'm just going to keep pushing through and I'm going to do the E92 front end. So I think at the end, once it's done, it's going to be the better looking.
yeah, definitely.
It's
will
going to
be.
be the better looking.
And
car.
it flows well with the back of the car.
Yeah.
You don't really. It doesn't
It's just
really.
the fenders I have to figure out. That's all.
Yeah.
So
What else is different?
the hood, the fenders, and the front.
No,
bump-
I'm talking about now that you wouldn't do that. I mean,
Okay, so air conditioning is more priority. On the race car, I'm still gonna go low. Probably, I was never really that low with my E30 to begin with. So I'm like low. I'm like in between. Like I'm in the middle. Maybe the sound, putting all the exhaust out the back. I don't know if much has changed though, really for me, because like,
what about a sound system?
yeah, I'm gonna put a stereo in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I thought about that earlier.
Because one of the things before is because it's a race car, you wanted to strip it down to the bare metal and not have any amenities.
Yeah, that's one thing is like
the
you're
amenities,
not so concerned about weight. Like when you're younger, when you're driving your first like drift car, you're like strip it all out, like the 240 convertible.
yeah, just
like,
cut it all out.
cut it out, all
Yeah.
out, get it all out.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's definitely
That's not
no.
really-
Definitely would like to have some sort of stereo.
Like I'm
in
not
there.
taking my windshield out.
I'm
not
running. Yeah,
taking-
I'm running a factory windshield.
I'm running my factory windshield.
Okay.
I probably run my factory doors side glass. The only thing I may get rid of is the back glass because I'm going to use that for sucking in for the radiator, and then the side glass for the back doors. I'm going to get rid of those.
I'm gonna do a Lexan door because I don't have any glass already to begin with. So I'm just gonna go Lexan on the side doors. But the windshield, I'm gonna get an OEM glass windshield. Definitely.
Yeah, can't compare. It's like seeing through. It's like not even having anything there. Having an OEM windshield compared to an Lexan windshield is just.
Plus, they sell defrosters that you can install on the OEM glass.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I put them in before a long time ago. When I didn't have a defroster, it's like a really thin wire, and you kind of put it across a couple times, and it's like the rear window defroster, but you can put it on the front windshield, and you hit the button, and it'll defrost it. And it's so thin you can't see it. So on those days, and I'd probably just do it on my side. Just the days when your window fogs up, it fogs up.
Yeah.
But that if we can cool the inside of the cars, that won't be an issue.
No. Yeah.
Talking about windshields, you just reminded me. What about spray nozzles for the windshield?
Oh
clean
yeah,
'em?
definitely
To
keep
clean
in
'em.
mind. Yeah, definitely.
Well,
keep
I
in
don't
mind.
have. I'm not gonna install a pump for that now. I'm only gonna have one windshield wiper on this car,
Oh, okay.
just because I cut all the other stuff out. I don't know why I did that. I
yeah.
don't know.
Why did you?
I know why. Because a lot of my wiring runs in that pocket.
Okay.
So I use that pocket area where the arms were to run some of the wiring. So I removed that section of it, but I really only need one for my side anyways. I'll do it like, old school touring car style. Just one big windshield wiper, set and just, yep.
A lot of Rain-X.
A lot of Rain-X.
I don't like driving in the rain anyways, so like I'm really not going to drive in the rain. So I don't really know if I'm really worried about windshield wipers. I think about it.
Yeah, I'll drive in a light rain, but in a heavy rain,
I'm not going to drive in a heavy rain. There's no point.
So that's another priority, right? Before it was like raining, I don't care, I'm going to drive it.
Yeah,
so
no
if it's like, it's kind of raining a little too much, I'll wait till it stops.
Yeah.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah, no.
I figured you would have probably taken advantage
No,
of the
'cause you're
free
not-
horsepower upgrade.
No,
You
it's
don't need
not
it
fun.
anymore.
I don't think driving in the rain is fun.
No, it's,
You don't think
it's
so?
annoying.
No, I
annoying.
like roasting tires. I like trying to go fast, and I don't like. I don't.
Yeah,
think,
that
I don't
private day,
find it fun.
that as soon as it rained, like all the fun really came out of the private day when we were there. It's like once the rain came, it's just like I can't.
It got boring. Like even to watch, it's boring.
It's like waiting for the car to kind of speed up, and you're full gas, you're just trying to get it to go. And it's like sliding this way. It's just like you have no grip, and the cars have way more power now, so it's not like it used to be where you needed the water to slide your car. Now
that's a good point.
No, it's like a lot of the cars have more power than you ever needed.
That's another question. When's the last time you seen a car with like 120 horsepower had an event?
A Miata?
Miata.
How recently?
Not too long ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw one.
PBIR used to get a lot of Miatas.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
But
the only thing. But that's
not
so
as often
light.
as it used to be. You go to OSW, you don't see that too often. You'll see
You
like
don't see 240s.
I'm talking about like that low, like 90 to 120 horsepower, right? That single cam KA. That's just
No, you don't see that.
No, you don't. Just
see the
closest
Z's
thing-
alone come up with 200 something horsepower stock.
Right.
The Z has plenty of horsepower to slide perfectly. You don't need it. And if you get an HR, you're just like that's honest to God. There's not much more you need than an HR 350Z. If it's gutted, you really don't need much more than that. You could you can drift with anybody with that car, pretty much. I mean, you're not going to be hyper competitive, but you can literally slide with anybody.
And we've seen that with
Yeah.
Alec Honadale at Clutch Kickers
Yeah.
I forgot about
and
that.
Ryan
You're right.
Acevedo.
Right.
Yeah, you can literally slide with anybody with that car as long as it's stripped out. 350Z. I wonder how a convertible would be, but actually, what's his name drives a convertible? Luke Fink. He drives a convertible 350. I was just thinking of how a 370 would be, or the new 400Z with the twin turbo. That's probably like that. Probably if it's really as reliable as the 350 was, that is probably the best car.
I don't know if you want to put reliable and a Z in the
Nissan?
same sentence, but
Nissan around.
I don't know, man. Those 350Zs, like you can't. Like I unfortunately
what?
blew mine, but the HRs are
Hardly reliable. HR. No,
no.
heavily reliable. No, they are. They are
Those
reliable.
HRs
they
you
are.
can't
they are.
kill them.
They are.
No, those HR. Yeah, the HR motors are just like those are the next level.
okay. All right. I'll take your word on it for that.
I would say like I wouldn't even like if you just want to drive. There's no reason not to get that car. To just get a 370Z with the newer motor and just drive that thing.
Just leave that.
350Z.
Just leave the muffler on it.
Yeah,
So
please.
muffler.
Yeah.
Do the world a favor.
Yeah.
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 But drive that car because it's perfect. Get an angle kit for it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, diff.
Leave the air conditioning.
Leave the
Yes.
air conditioning. Yeah. Enjoy 60-degree air in your cabin.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Folks, I want to thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you next time. Take care and good night.